A pleasant good evening, ladies and gentlemen, as we welcome you live from Hampshire Field on the campus of Blair Academy in Blairstown, New Jersey. Strive Network about to bring you a Maple League lacrosse showdown between the Mercersburg Blue Storm and the Blair Academy Buccaneers. I'm Matt Nelson. He's Simon Rose. The boys' game will start at approximately 7:15, we think. That is as a result of the girls' varsity lacrosse game as Blair took care of business over Mercersburg and won by 12. So again, we'll be back on the air with you in approximately 12 minutes from now, maybe less than that, as Blair and Mercersburg each go for their first Maple League victory of the season. Mercersburg and Blair coming up in just a short while. We'll have it for you right here on the Strive Network. From Hampshire Field on the campus of Blair Academy in Blairstown, New Jersey, the Strive Network welcomes you to Maple League Lacrosse. It's a primetime showdown as the Blair Buccaneers at 0-3 take on the Mercersburg Blue Storm at 3-2. Both teams are looking for their first conference win of the season at 0-1 right now. And with that, we say good evening, folks. I'm Matt Nelson alongside Simon Rose. Glad you could join us for tonight's contest. Well, Simon, it doesn't get any better than this. You've got a primetime showdown. This is the last Maple League game of the day. What do you expect?
I'm expecting a good battle. I know that this Mercersburg Academy team this year is as experienced as they've been in a number of years. A lot of seniors on the team. In fact, since I just brought up the point, let's just look at their roster real quick, and you can get a look at how many seniors they do have on the team compared to some of the younger classmen. They do have a good number of contributors in that younger class, but good senior leadership. I'm expecting a hard-fought contest. These teams have battled it out the last couple of years and have had some really close matches, and I expect to see much of the same here today.
Let's take a look at our Strive Spotlight, and our player to watch will be number 22, Nick Shulkin. As Simon does a little bit of everything here at the Strive Network, there is Shulkin, a senior all the way from San Rafael, California. He will be heading off to Colorado College, a Division III school, two-time All-Maple, and all IPSL. One thing that's not on this graphic is that Shulkin played for Team Israel in the 2016 U19 World Lacrosse Championships, a three-sport athlete, also part of the football and squash programs at Mercersburg.
Well-traveled young man, isn't he? From San Rafael, California, out to the Middle East and Israel, and coming back here to Pennsylvania, now up to North Jersey.
Yep, he's not the only one that's been to Israel.
I've been there.
Yeah.
Anyway.
All right, time now for our Coach's Corner. Head coach of the Blue Storm is Mike Conklin in his third season as the head coach.
Oop. Yep, that's him. That's
okay.
It's just the wrong text, and I apologize for that.
Problem.
That's on me.
Yeah, not sure who Carl Stenzel is.
He is the head coach of the soccer team
Boys
here
soccer.
at Mercersburg Academy.
Okay.
All of the other information, though, I will say,
right,
is correct. He is a native of Syracuse, New York.
Mike Conklin went to Hobart, a Division I program, at least for that sport. He's a former assistant at Mercersburg and has done an outstanding job taking a program that back in the day didn't have a winning season for about a decade until he became the head coach.
Yeah, he's done a really nice job with this group of kids as well.
Yeah, absolutely. You look at the Mercersburg bench as both teams retreat to their respective sides as we get you set for what should be a fantastic matchup. And again, both teams 0-1 in Maple League play coming in. Would love to end tonight with a W in terms of Maple League competition. Mercersburg in the road, blue tops and white shorts. Blair in the home white uniforms, navy blue letters and numbers outlined in gray. The Blue Storm letters and numbers are in white. Ben Doika will take the first faceoff for Mercersburg. He's won 33 faceoffs this year. As the players get down on their knees and get set for what should be an exciting matchup here this evening. Game time temperature, 52 degrees, sunny skies. That's
and
the sun.
Dropping, huh?
It feels like the 40s.
Yeah.
The sun setting just behind us and to our right as Doika comes off of the face-off when we're underway in the first 12-minute quarter here in Blairstown, New Jersey. Behind the cage is Gabe Hendrickson on the left side now. He loses the handle. Good defense from Dylan Benson, a freshman from right here in Blairstown. Out of bounds, and they're going to say Blair Academy ball. Here you see Benson, the LSM. I take that back. It's Mercersburg possession. 12-minute quarters at the high school level as opposed to 15 at the college level. Here's a shot. Bouncer goes wide right. That's off the stick of the aforementioned Nick Shulkin. 5'9", 160. He's an attack who can do just about anything you ask him. 19 goals, 16 dimes, 12 ground balls, and a partridge in a pear tree. Mercersburg still with possession, left to right. Nick Nelson on the right side. Goal line extended. Flips it back outside the box for James Delala out of Hanover, New Hampshire. Look at this. On the doorstep, it's Shulkin who scores, and Mercersburg jumps out to a 1-0 lead.
Nifty work by Shulkin. You just spoke his praises and talked about all the numbers that he accumulated. And, well, if you're watching a Mercersburg lacrosse game, you're going to watch him do some magical things like that, and just not fair as he dekes out the goalkeeper at the end and has another goal to his tally.
Goal number 20 on the season. That leads the team. Mercersburg off to an impressive start early on. Doika back at the face-off circle for the Blue Storm. Ball is free, left side. Doika thinks he has it and does. Going up against Vincent, and forgive me on the pronunciation, Koliako out of nearby Andover, New Jersey, who has 8 face-off wins coming in. Blue Storm 2-0 in face-offs to start this match.
And now 2-0 in goals.
Whew. Right on cue. It's Colin Adams with his 21st of the year, and Mercersburg with a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, Matt, you mentioned the face-off wins, and it's such a big part of lacrosse. You give your team an extra couple of chances to score. And Delala just camping out, or excuse me, Adams just camping out in front. And nothing the goalkeeper can do about it.
Doika v. Koliako. And who's got it? It's Mercersburg. That's Alex DeGrange, number 21, the LSM, going in for the face-off win. Blue Storm, 3-0. Here's Nelson. Right side, outside the box. Maybe alongside, rather. Now Adams behind the cage. 2-0 Mercersburg. Coming up on 10 minutes to go, quarter one. Delala. Now Hendrickson. Right side and maneuvers his way into the box. Hendrickson still with it. Look out. Another goal for the Blue Storm, 3-0.
Once again, it's Adams. He's finding his home right in front of the net, and he cashes home another one. And so far, Mercersburg is showing why they've had a good start to their campaign this year, and it's going to force an early timeout. It'll allow us to look at this replay of this most recent goal. Look at this great move by Hendrickson there to get himself free, and he actually lost it, and just the way that the ball has been bouncing, Mercersburg finds it right in front of the cage, and it's 3-0.
Colin Adams with back-to-back goals for the Blue Storm. Timeout on the field. 9:54 to go, quarter one. We'll take a break and come back for the remainder of the first quarter right after this. You're watching Maple League Lacrosse on the Strive Network. An impressive start for the Mercersburg Blue Storm. 3-0 is their lead over Blair. Matt Nelson, Simon Rose here with you on Strive for our first spring broadcast, the 27th season. We've got quite a number of games scheduled here at Blair Academy between now and the middle of next month.
Yeah, it should be a fun one once again, and it's always a pleasure to broadcast Maple Athletics for, what now, it's been the 5th year running almost.
Yeah.
And it's once again the start of another good spring season.
It'll be Doika from Mercersburg and the aforementioned Vincent Koliako, just a freshman, but taking face-offs for the Buccaneers. in this, his first season as a high school athlete. Mercersburg, do they have a face-off win? Nope. It's Koliako and Blair with their first face-off win of the game.
Yeah, let's see if Blair can get something going here out of the timeout.
Thomas Jenkins, his first touch, junior captain. This is Rito Hito Shapiro. If you're a soccer fan here at Blair, you might be familiar with that name. He's on the team. Pretty tall kid, roughly 6 foot. He could be a nightmare matchup. John Hen Park, number 3, behind the cage, left side now. Flips it back to Evan Grohowski, lucky number 13. 3-0 Mercersburg, 9 minutes and counting, quarter 1. Hito Shapiro, left side, in the box. Back up top for Jenkins. Right side, Garrett Long. Blair Academy coming in, 0-3. They were at Phillipsburg midweek and fell 11-7 in their best offensive performance of the season. Here's a rip from Jenkins, ricocheted off a Mercersburg defender. Jenkins gets it back in the circle.
Yeah, much like the football player in Thomas Jenkins, running the show as the quarterback. He is running the show here for the lacrosse team as well from the point.
Jenkins, right now the plan is to attend college for lacrosse. As to where he's going, that remains to be seen. Blair looking to get on the board. Here's Jenkins with a long shot attempt and a save by Andrew Dilliard, the Mercersburg netminder, who comes in with 18 ground balls on the season out of Hagerstown, Maryland. Hagerstown, for those of you who don't know, Maryland, huge for lacrosse, especially down the Baltimore area, but Hagerstown is right there with them. Blair Academy possession, trailing by 3. Under 8 to play, quarter 1. Hito Shapiro, left side. Little spin move, and a low shot that goes wide right, out of bounds. Good look by Hito Shapiro, but excellent defense by the Blue Storm defender in James Delala. 6'1", 165 from New Hampshire. Blair trying it again. And for those of you unfamiliar with lacrosse, if the ball goes out of bounds end line, the team closest to the ball gets possession. Shot in front, and there's a goal. It's Max Thorsheim with his second goal of the season, and Blair is on the board. It's a 3-1 Mercersburg lead.
Good response from Blair Academy. It was all Mercersburg early on in this one. It just didn't seem like Blair could even get possession, and finally they're able to call that timeout, calm their team down, and they put together a couple of good sustained offensive possessions, and a good finish there to get the Buccaneers on the board.
Again, Blair looking for their first win of the season. 0-3. They've already played the Hun School of Princeton, which has been a predominant, not only just the Maple Leaf school, but throughout the nation. They've been known as one of the best in years past.
Yeah, you've got a couple of really, really good lacrosse programs here in the Maple League.
Indeed. Hun won that game 15-0, by the way. The only time Blair has been shut out this year. 7 minutes to go, quarter 1, and the bouncer ricochets off the left pipe. That was from Jenkins, had a nice look. Thorsheim, out of New Canaan, Connecticut, works his way behind the cage from left to right on your monitor. Thorsheim dumps it back to Garrett Long. Now Jenkins looking to reset the tempo. Interesting story on Thorsheim, again from Connecticut. He took part in a service known as Project Inspirica. It's where local church youth ministers get together several times a year to share their ideas, and they develop joint projects to pull teens together. This was last January, so January 2016. It was a 3-day event. He and a bunch of his friends from New Canaan, over 100, by the way, they made sandwiches, they decorated lunch bags with messages, that cookies and filled lunch bags just to...
Ooh, cookies.
Yeah, right? It's too bad, though, because I wish there were gluten-free cookies.
Oh. Another one from Adams.
Colin Adams with a hat trick. Where are the hats? It's 4-1 Mercersburg, under 6 to play in the first.
And this has really been Adams' bread and butter. All 3 of his goals have looked just like this. He's been in the right place at the right time. This time it is Shulkin with a beautiful pass between those 2 defenders. And Adams has been the finishing star for this Mercersburg Academy Blue Storm early on in the game.
Nick Nelson with an even 10 goals on the season. He came in with 7. He's already got a hat trick. Doika taking the face-off for the Blue Storm in the blue. And he's got another one. Oh, just like that, it's Danny Sizzler on the takeaway. Right to left, go the Buccaneers on your monitor. Our clock might be a little bit behind. 5:30 and counting on the scoreboard here at Hampshire Field. Jenkins with a shot fake. And maneuvers his way outside the box. It's a 4-1 Mercersburg lead, I should say. Game 2 of the Maple League season for both squads. Mercersburg, they dropped a 17-6 decision at Lawrenceville late last month.
Much different pace for Blair Academy's offense as opposed to Mercersburg. Every time Mercersburg gets the ball, they're very aggressive. You can see them going right to the net. And you can see Blair Academy looking to slow it down. And the pace of this game being slower seems to be the priority for this team.
Dorschein behind the net. Goal line extended. And heads back the other way. High pass along. Gets hold of it. And he throws it over the head of Hito Shapiro.
Yeah, that's a rough sequence of events for Long. He probably, if he fielded that pass cleanly, he would have been able to get a shot at least on net. And then he throws it away. Sometimes unfortunate events on the field tend to domino.
So now Mercersburg, for the first time in about 3 minutes or so, maybe 4, they have possession left to right.
Well, they did score, remember, but it
right.
seems like it, because like I said, the point I was making earlier, it took about 10 seconds for them to score after getting possession.
Yeah. Well, Blair taking some of the up-tempo game from Mercersburg away over the last few minutes. Mercersburg trying to regain their composure. Here's a shot in front. The bouncer misses off the stick of Lance Lesak. He's a post-grad from Mountaintop, PA. Lesak heading to Muhlenberg College, D3 school, Centennial Conference in Allentown. That's Pennsylvania. Shot from Nelson wide left. Mercersburg possession, 3:45 to go in the first. Shulkin brings it in. Has a goal already tonight. Shulkin dumps it off in front, and Adams has his 4th goal of the night. It's a 5-1 Mercersburg lead with 3:38 to go in the first quarter.
Yeah, you got to love Nick Shulkin because you know that if he needs to carry the load in terms of putting the ball in the back of the net, he can, but he's willing to spread the wealth as well. And when you get a lot of tension on him, you can see the double coming, and that left Adams open, and you do not want to leave Adams open in front of the net because, as he's shown, he will make you pay.
2 goals tonight for Shulkin, give him 21 on the year. I stand corrected on the player who scored. It was actually Colin Adams. He's got 4 goals already tonight, having a spectacular evening. Blair ball. Goal line extended is Park. And an errant pass across the midline, picked up by Adams. Mercersburg possession. They lead by 4, coming up on 3 to go in the first. Adams trying to dump it off in front. Ricocheted off the stick of Hito Shapiro. The LSM has it. That would be Dylan Benson. He's a freshman from Blairstown. And now Blair with the clear. Spin move by number 16. That's Ronan Smart out of Newton, New Jersey. Upperclassman. Jenkins with a shot fake. Blair in the box. Hito Shapiro in the corner. Jenkins. Gingerly taking some time off the clock for Blair. They're down by 4. Nelson, check that, it's Park. Smart. He's got Jenkins to his left. Now Jenkins head with it between the box and circle. Hito Shapiro making his way outside the box. 2 minutes to go in the first. Hito Shapiro on the move. Pass in front, loose. Ground ball potentially, but for Mercersburg, they've got it.
Smothering defense there by Mercersburg. You saw how patient Blair was forced to be. There was just nothing there, and Rio Hito Shapiro tried to make something happen, and nothing doing.
Daniel Bose comes up with the ground ball and the cost turnover for Mercersburg, who have possession. Adams with a turnaround shot and a stick save for Carter Albers. Albers all the way from Middleburg, Virginia. He's got 33 saves coming in. Under 90 to go in the first. Blair with the ball in their defensive zone, trying to find a way to get rid of it. Benson. No flag, as Shulkin was there to play defense. Now it's Hito Shapiro, right to left. 1 minute to go in the first quarter. Hito Shapiro still with it. Trying to find a pass. Dumps it behind the cage for Park. Park. No whistle. No penalty flag against Ethan Malcolm, number 2.
We haven't heard many whistles at all in this first quarter.
There's a bouncer. It's a long shot for Thomas Jenkins. His 6th goal of the season. And Blair is down by a field goal with 34 seconds to play in quarter 1.
Yeah, it's just what Blair needs here at the end of the first quarter.
One more look.
Yeah, good patient offense. And Jenkins has shown the ability to let it fly from beyond, and just a little bit of space that he needs and a vicious bouncer.
Jenkins had a bunch of shot fakes early on. He finally finds the back of the cage for the first time this evening. Speaking of firsts, Ronan Smart taking his first face-off of the evening. He has no face-off wins coming in, so this might be the first time he's taking a face-off, period. Ben Doika will do the honors for Mercersburg. Keep in mind our scoreboard. We're trying to reset it for you here. There's 34 seconds left in the first quarter. A 5-2 Mercersburg lead. Still fighting for it. Doika. Thought he had it for a moment, and now it's Blair ball. It's Smart with his first face-off win of the year. Dumps it off to Thorsheim as we approach 10 seconds. Thorsheim trying to get rid of it. Double team. And now Mercersburg on the takeaway. It's Tom Kremens, the Holy Cross commits. The LSM Kremens. And that will do it as the first quarter comes to a close. An impressive start early on for Mercersburg, specifically Colin Adams, who has 4 of the Blue Storm tallies early on. At the end of 1, it's Mercersburg 5 and Blair 2. We'll come back for the second quarter right after this. This is Maple League High School Lacrosse right here on the Strive Network. Back here in northwestern New Jersey, Blairstown to be exact, it's a 5-2 lead for Mercersburg. An impressive start early on. The story thus far has been Colin Adams.
Yeah, Colin Adams in the front of the cage is where he has made his living. 4 goals from right point blank, and you just got to be in there. That's half the battle is positioning, and he's done a nice job. Every time he's had the ball right there in front of the cage, he's been able to finish as well. So great job by Colin Adams, a great job by Mercersburg overall. They've been spreading the wealth. They've been efficient, and they've attacked. You got to give some credit to Blair Academy, though. The way this game started, it was 3-0 before you could blink an eye. Blair calling a good timeout and able to get a goal out of that timeout and get a goal at the end of the quarter. So we've got ourselves a ball game here as we start the second.
Faceoffs have also been key for Mercersburg. They've won that battle more often than not tonight. I'd say it's 5-1 Blue Storm. We're not keeping track of that per se, but nonetheless, faceoffs always a vital part of the game, regardless of what level. And obviously for Mercersburg, they've shown that throughout the course of the evening. 5-2 is your score. About to begin the second quarter of action here at Hampshire Field. Inside the circle, Ronan Smarth back for his second straight faceoff. Will be going up against Ben Doika. He's been inside the circle overall for the Blue Storm. Mercersburg 3-2, Blair 0-3. They've had a tough schedule early on. They lost to Jefferson on the road 12-4. They were shut out by Hun 15-0. That was the first Maple League game of the year for Blair. And then you've got the game down at Phillipsburg. Their best offensive output, but still trying to find their identity early on. They lost that game by 4, 11-7. Mercersburg possession. They're going right to left on your screen here in quarter 2 as we're underway in the second 12-minute quarter. And right there is Nick Shulkin, his second tally of the night. It's 6-2. One more look. Shulkin from the left side, maneuvering his way around the Blair defender. That's Kyle Gibson.
And Gibson, look at him eyeing him up there. And
on the doorstep.
He chases him around the other side of the goal, and Shulkin says, okay, well, I'll go to goal then.
There you go. It's a 3-0 run for the Blue Storm as we're underway in quarter 2. Decent crowd on hand for tonight's game. They've come from near and far, whether it's somewhere in Mercersburg, PA, which is about 3.5 hours out. Long bus ride for these kids from I-78. Well, let me rephrase that. I-81, which merges into I-78 left to right. Then you've got a few local roads here and there, and you find your way to Blair Academy.
Yeah, it's a fun drive, I'm sure, for these Blue Storm, but talking to Rick Hendrickson, the athletic director, before the game, these kids are used to that drive, and they're going to be making it after this game as well. They'll get home about 1 a.m. to Mercersburg, Pennsylvania.
Yeah. Well, that's part of the game. You've got long bus rides, and when these kids go to college and they play lacrosse, they'll have to get used to it. No doubt about it. That was Thomas Jenkins at the other end with a long shot attempt from Blair. Not the first time he's had that tonight, but a nice save by the Mercersburg keeper in Andrew Dillard. Mercersburg possession up by 4, coming up on 10.5 and counting quarter 2. Colin Adams back to Lisak. Post-grad. Flips it back to James Delala. He'll be going to Union College for lacrosse. D3 school, upstate New York, excuse me. Delala. Nice use of his speed. Now Hendrickson. Shulkin. Shulkin knifing his way through. He gets a shot off.
Oh,
did he
goodness.
score?
Yes, he did.
Wow. What a play. Nick Shulkin already with a hat trick tonight. Bring out the hats. It's 7-2 Blue Storm with 10 minutes to go in the second.
So 6 of the 7 goals have been scored by either Adams or Shulkin. And look at this magic happen. It's this move at the end that's just dirty. And another goal on the board for Shulkin.
What a night for Shulkin and Adams. Hat trick for Shulkin, 4 for Adams.
Oh, 7. All 7 have been scored by those two, huh?
All 7. What a dynamic duo they have been thus far tonight. Lights have been on for quite a while. There's also a full moon in the sky.
Yeah.
Just above our heads here at Blair Academy.
Try to get that moon shot on the broadcast. That's broadcast gold, the moon shot.
Yep. It is a thing of beauty, especially during this time of the night. The lights have been on for quite a while. I got here about an hour before this game was supposed to start at 7, so I got here roughly 10 after. The lights were already on for the girls' game, so nice job by the Blair administration getting this field ready to go for a primetime showdown. Mercersburg possession. Adams, long pass, dropped and scooped up by Nick Nelson. Adams behind the cage. Near side, Delala. Lisak, losing his speed. A flag comes in, a shot and a score. It's Colin Adams for the 5th time tonight. They'll count the goal, 8-2 Mercersburg. Wait on the penalty. It's going to be a slash against Blair Academy. 1 minute in the penalty box for Corey Downey out of Somerville, New Jersey. So it'll be man up for Mercersburg between now and the 8:03 mark. Another face-off coming. Doika. We'll see if he's there. Going up against Kalakio. His first face-off in quarter 2. It's a Mercersburg face-off win as Joe Lieber out of Chestertown, Maryland comes up with it. And LSM who races off the field. So a 6-on-5 for Mercersburg. Man up. Mercersburg outside the box. Get it back in. Hendrickson. Up top for Nelson. Kremens. Over to Shulkin. He's behind the cage. Nearly with a foot on the crease, and an errant pass makes its way across midfield, and look at it roll. Loose ball. Malcolm thinks he has it. Gets shoved from behind by Junhan Park. No penalty. Might be loose ball interference. Nonetheless, it is going to be Mercersburg possession. Or not. Blair Academy ball. 8:09 to go. The man up is about to end for Mercersburg. So Blair on offense, a man down. Now it should be back to 6-on-6. Thorsheim. Over to Kalakio. Hito Shapiro. Top of the box. He gets a shot off and misfires wide right. Blair Academy possession. 7:46 and counting quarter 2. It's a 6-goal deficit for Blair. Looking for their first win of the season. Kalakio. Hito Shapiro, far side. Dumps it off behind the cage. This is Park. Up top for Kalakio. check that. Garrett Long, number 19. Hito Shapiro. Great defense by Nelson for Mercersburg. Hito Shapiro looking to slow down the tempo. Long. Behind the cage for Park. Park on the doorstep for a moment. A fake pass. Good move by Blair. Kalakio. Whoa.
Yeah, Mercersburg just really staying at home defensively. You see how difficult it is for Blair to get penetrated into near that goal. Mercersburg really collapses well.
Yeah. Excellent man-to-man defense by Mercersburg. Behind the cage, Park. Back to Kalakio. Little spin move. Kalakio.
Oh.
Wow. Double team and a flag comes in. They stop the clock, 6:16. This will likely go against the Blue Storm.
We're playing hockey out here.
If only Tom Wilms were here. Daniel Bose, cross-check for Mercersburg, 1 minute.
Here he comes.
6-on-5 for Blair Academy as we get another look. That is some dangerous play. But that's what this game is all about.
Yeah, it was. I mean, in fairness, it did look like a very clean hit in terms of how you're supposed to hit somebody in the midst of competition.
Right.
It wouldn't have been a penalty in hockey, I guess is my point.
No. Again, direct all of your hockey questions to Tom Wilms. He is practically an expert
Tom Wilms
on that sport.
Yeah, Tom Wilms, one of our broadcasters here on the Strive Network, a big hockey buff.
Yeah. Here's a low shot ripped by Jenkins wide right. That's about the third or fourth time Jenkins has had a long shot go in favor in terms of getting it off. He had a bunch of shot fakes early on. He has a goal tonight, looking for some more.
Yeah, and you got a nice little cheer from the Mercersburg bench cheering on Ethan Malcolm, who hustled to be the first one to the end line to get possession for Mercersburg. We know how big possessions have been already in this game.
Malcolm committed to Bishop's University. That's in Quebec. He grew up watching box lacrosse. It's a very, very unique sport. It's basically a hockey rink played on turf, 5-on-5.
Yeah, it's indoor lacrosse.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
I mean, it's not nationally lacrosse where the goalkeeper looks like he has a mattress on top of him, but that's a whole other story.
Though, box lacrosse is a fun sport to watch, and if you can play that successfully, it does translate well.
Under 5 to go in the first half. Mercersburg possession. Shot deflected in front by Blair. That is Danny Sizzler, 18. Nearly with a takeaway, but Mercersburg gets it back. Delala. Converted attackman. And Mercersburg's head coach Mike Conklin, he refers to Delala as a former liability on defense. Now he's one of their best midfielders.
That just speaks to the progress that these kids have when they come to these programs. That's what you want to see. You want to see kids improve from year to year to year.
Hito Shapiro, Blair ball left to right. He gets inside the box. Looking for a shot, but loses the ball. A flag comes in away from the ball. So we'll find out who gets the penalty on the whistle. And right on cue, there it is.
I think this is going to go against Mercersburg and Michael. I'm not sure. Let's see.
Offsides, James Delala. It's a man up for 30 seconds. Believe I may have seen a second penalty come in on Lisak. So, 6-on-4 Blair. You don't see that every day in lacrosse. Take that back. Delala is the only man in there.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay. Lisak was coming out.
It's a little tough to find out exactly what that referee's saying from up here, but
yeah.
It did look like for a moment there was going to be a two-man advantage.
So, man up, 30 seconds for Blair, 6-on-5. A lot of passing for the Buccaneers. Shot! Missing it wide is Thorsheim. He's got a goal tonight and had one at Phillipsburg last time out.
Yeah, this is a really big possession here for Blair. A man advantage. You really want to take advantage of these when you're down in a game.
A reminder, our scoreboard, a few seconds off the scoreboard at Blair. Hito Shapiro's shot and a 6 save for Dillard.
He's made a couple of really nice stick saves. That one heading to the upper left-hand corner.
Back to 6-on-6. Mercersburg for the clear. Not that time. It's Thorsheim coming up with the ground ball. Blair Academy left to right, trailing by a touchdown minus the extra point. 8-2. Blue Storm coming up on 3 to go. Quarter 2. Jenkins, top of the box. Flips it near side to Smarth. Park behind the cage. Loses the handle, gets it back. And they're going to say Mercersburg possession. I don't believe Park was out of bounds.
Nonetheless, I think you can credit Ethan Malcolm with the pressure on defense, and it goes back to the Blue Storm.
Here's Nelson with a high head of steam. The bouncer is deflected in front by Albers. Blair Academy comes up with it. Great defense by the Buccaneers that time. And an errant pass off the cross of Evan Grohowski, scooped up at the Blue Storm, and they have the turnover right to left. Delala approaching 2 minutes to go in quarter 2. Shulkin flips it back to Delala. They swing it far side to Nelson. Hendrickson. Adams behind the cage. Gets a screen from Shulkin. Adams nearly losing the handle, but he's got it. Fires it to Shulkin. Now Doika. First time he's been on offense tonight. He's been taking face-offs, but besides that, he really hasn't been in the game. Shot in front, a wraparound attempt by Shulkin, nothing doing. Whistle, and it should be Mercersburg ball. Under 90 seconds remaining. Man, Adams going behind the back, nothing doing.
Looking for goal number 6.
Yeah, a double hat trick. Adams, what a player.
Adams and Shulkin have hogged the the goals here for Mercersburg in the first half.
The Michigan native Adams, stat-wise, you would think he's going to college for lacrosse. 20 goals, 10 dimes, 13 ground balls. However, he does have a love-hate relationship with this sport. That's according to Coach Mike Conklin. So he'll go to college nonetheless as Nelson scores for the first time. First time that a player not named Shulkin and Adams scores for Mercersburg, and they lead by 7. One more look. Watch Nelson. He's behind the cage in blue. And he comes from the left side and turns around to score.
Yeah, nice work by Nelson. Matt, you were making a point. I wanted to hear the end of it. Where were you saying Adams is going to school? And what is he going to school for?
First of all, the rumor has it he's going to Ole Miss for academics.
Okay.
Again, no college athletics, so considering Ole Miss does not have lacrosse.
Yeah, it's not that big in the South, is it?
Except for Florida.
Oh.
That's the only D1 school that I know of down south that has men's lacrosse. In Florida, they play in the Big East. Timeout on the field. 32 seconds left in quarter 2. It's a touchdown advantage for Mercersburg. It looks like we are going to take a look at some familiar foes. Here is a look at some of the recent meetings between these two teams.
Dating back to 2012.
Yeah. Blair, right now they're in favor of the last 5 meetings, but when you look at the last 2, Mercersburg has the advantage.
Yeah, the Blue Storm have really done a nice job the last couple of years, but you see a lot of close games, close battles between these Blue Storm and Buccaneers.
Good defensive battles back in 2012 and 13 as well.
Yeah.
6-4 and 6-5. You don't see it that much at any level, lacrosse, but defense is what wins championships. And obviously, close games, Maple League foes, you're always going to have a good matchup.
Yeah, it's always fun.
So coming out of the timeout, 32 seconds remaining on the clock here in the second quarter. Mercersburg leads Blair by a touchdown here in Blairstown, New Jersey. What does Blair need to do differently as we approach the end of this first half?
I think a goal at the end of this half would be marvelous, of course, for Blair to give them some confidence heading into the second half. But I think they're doing the right things. I think it's really difficult right now with Mercersburg, how they're playing defensively. It's just really difficult for these Buccaneers to find that crease. When they have the opportunity, we've seen Jenkins let it fly from the top. We've seen Rio Hito Shapiro make some nice moves in. But, I think it's just a matter of getting that ball into the back of the net and taking advantage of your opportunities.
Mercersburg's most recent goal scored by Nick Nelson. The first goal scored since the 9:03 mark by Mercersburg. Adams and Shulkin have been going back and forth for the most part until Nelson found the net. It'll be Blair ball left to right, 20 seconds remaining. Smart to Albers. This is not a clear attempt. Albers, the keeper, trying to run away. He's got Shulkin from behind and just flings it out of bounds on the far side.
He's got to hurry to get back in the net.
Yeah, 6 seconds. Mercersburg, they can get the ball off in time, and Nelson will do the honors. Nelson racing in far side, and he scores! Nick Nelson with back-to-back goals. It's an even 10 on the board for the Blue Storm, and they lead 10-8, or 10-2 rather, we think.
Yeah, no official word whether that goal was actually officially counted. Oh, it did hit the outside of the net. It looked like a goal, Matt.
Yeah, that was close.
From the angle, it did look like it.
From our point of
it's
view,
going to end 9-2 at halftime.
Yeah, from our point of view, it might be a little tricky. You've got the lights on. You've got a heck of a game, especially for the Blue Storm. They lead by a touchdown, 9-2. We'll come back in about 10 minutes from now to give you some first half stats and a look ahead to the final 24 minutes of action. You are watching Maple League Boys Lacrosse right here on the Strive Network. What an impressive start for the Mercersburg Blue Storm. They lead Blair 9-2 here on the Strive Network. Matt Nelson here, Simon Rose there. A lot of offense from Mercersburg early on, particularly in the form of Shulkin and Adams.
Yeah, Shulkin and Adams doing their work here in this game as they've done throughout the season. And then sort of at the end, a couple of goals added on by the Blue Storm by Nick Nelson. But, yeah, for the most part, it was the Shulkin and Adams show, scoring the team's first 7 goals.
What a start, especially for Ben Doya. He has about 5, maybe 6 face-off wins. Make that 7. Mercersburg left to right. We're underway in quarter 3. When you think about Mercersburg Blue Storm athletics, lacrosse, certainly a program that has been on the rise in recent years with head coach Mike Conklin getting promoted from assistant coach to a head coach. But what you don't know about him is where he's from and where he played. So Mike Conklin, he's from the Syracuse area.
It's a big lacrosse place, right?
Huge when it comes to lacrosse. His alma mater, West Genesee High School. So if you're unfamiliar with that high school, then get to know this name, Mike Messery. He is the all-time winningest coach in lacrosse at any level. There's a shot in front and a score for Lance Lesak. His first of the night, and his 3rd goal of the season makes it a 10-2 Mercersburg lead.
Yeah, Mercersburg just picking up right where they left off. Got one more look at the replay here, see how this one developed. Starts slow moving. And then from behind the cage is where the move is made. Leaves a little bit of space, and Lesak puts it home.
Heading to Muhlenberg College for soccer next fall. Back to the Messier story. All-time winningest coach at any level of the game. He's in the National High School Hall of Fame, and he's still coaching in a career that's lasted over 40 years.
So
now,
he was the coach of Conklin?
Yes, he was at West Genesee High School. He's still there, and last I checked, this is coming from Conklin, the win-loss total is roughly at 830 and 50.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you can accumulate 800 wins in any sport, that's impressive at any level.
He's basically the Gino Auriemma of lacrosse.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's high praises.
That's saying something. A 10-2 lead for the Mercersburg Blue Storm, coming in at 3-2. They've lost their last they've won their last game, I should say. A thriller, 17-16 at home against St. John's Catholic Prep. A back-and-forth contest. The Blue Storm eventually pulling it out. Look at the shot from the knees of Shulkin and a save on the doorstep for Carter Albers.
Albers got to be careful here.
Double team pressure, nearly coming. Shulkin from behind, and it's an empty net goal. Colin Adams scores yet again. It's an 11-2 lead for the Blue Storm.
Yeah, just a little bit careless. It was a really good sequence of events here for Albers. I'm going to start it here way back. He made 2 nice saves. This was the second of 2.
Right.
And this is where he started to go out. Got a guy behind him. Does well here to evade pressure, but this is where you got to get rid of the ball.
It's always not a bad idea to come out of the cage, but when you've got a defender behind you who wants a turnover, that might not be the right move.
You just can't take it for granted. You can come out of the cage. Sometimes that's the right move to do, and Albers did make the right move. You saw the pressure in front of him, but once you escape that pressure, you got to look to get rid of it as soon as possible, and Albers will be the first to tell you that he made a mistake there.
It's an 8-0 run for Mercersburg, dating back to the 5:56 mark of the first. Blair was held scoreless in the second quarter. Flag comes in right around midfield. We'll check to see who it's on.
Well, it'll be against Mercersburg Academy.
Oh. Right on cue. Thanks, Simon.
You're welcome. Well, they would have stopped play if it was against Blair.
True. Blair possession. This is Park drawing a double team. Still with it. Park with a shot, and a bouncer goes in. It's Junhan Park, the South Korean, stops an 8-0 Mercersburg run. It's 11-3.
As our camera goes in and out of focus here. Comes into focus at the right time. Good finish by Park.
Offsides is the call. It's on Mercersburg, but as to the player that it's on.
It's possible, forgive me for not knowing the rule, it's possible that they do wipe it away, just like
Okay.
in hockey when you've got that odd man advantage.
Right.
And the goal is scored.
For Junhan Park, his second goal of the season. First goal scored by Blair since the first. Back to the midfield circle. Doika has it for Mercersburg. He's got 8 face-off wins and steals one from Smarth. Blue Storm from left to right, leading by 8, approaching 8.5 to go in the third. Delala to Nelson. Long pass, dropping it, and picking it off the ground is Hendrickson. The defense coming in for Blair. That was Sizzler trying to poke it out of Hendrickson's stick. Adams. Far side to Lisak. Lisak with a spin and gets rid of it in time for Delala. Nelson behind the circle and box. Nelson on the attack. Look out! Save in front by Albers.
Yeah, he's made a couple of really nice stops. That's a good one.
Shulkin with some speed and gets rid of it. Lisak picks it up far side. Now Delala over to Nelson. Nelson on the attack, right side. Goal line extended. Lisak off a screen. High pass. Still loose. Falling to his knees is Hendrickson, and it's going to be Blair ball. Interference, I believe, the call against Mercersburg. So Blair Academy looking to find a way to get themselves back in the game, unable to get a score at the end of the first half. So Simon, at this point of the game, you're down by 8, 7 minutes left in the third. What can Blair do to get themselves back in?
Score goals.
But, I mean, is it a matter of transition? Is it a matter of finding the right guy? What is it?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many different things that can be done. It's finding a way to penetrate this Mercersburg defense. It's taking advantage of the opportunities. It's putting the ball in the back of the net when you have the opportunity to do so. And we'll see how much more pace the Buccaneers want to play with.
Thorsheim dumps it off, intended for Hito Shapiro. Had it for a moment. Loose ball off the stick of Alex DeGrange. He stumbles out of bounds, and Blair will have it. Hito Shapiro outside the box. Spins his way in. And flips it top of the box to Jenkins, who mishandles it for a moment. Jenkins coming up on 6 minutes to go, quarter 3. And he heaves it behind the cage to the aforementioned Max Thorsheim. Thorsheim giving Blair their first goal of the night, losing the handle. Good defense by Malcolm from behind. It's loose. Whistle comes in. And it's going to stay on this side with Blair. Thorsheim in the corner on the restart. Thorsheim turning the corner. Gets rid of it, but gets checked up. A flag comes in. Mercersburg will be penalized. 2 flags come in. Jenkins with a shot fake. Had a lot of those in the first. And he's had a lot of long-distance shots overall. Thorsheim making the catch is Jenkins. Pass fake, low shot ripped, wide right, out of bounds. And we'll see what the call is on the field. Cross check on Nick Nelson, 1 minute. It's going to be made up for Blair, 6-on-5. Buccaneers possession on the restart. Jenkins receives the pass. Short one to his right for Thorsheim. Garrett Long. Long mishandles the pass. That was from Smarth. Long has it. Now Thorsheim misplays the pass. Loose ball in the box. Who's got it? Still free, heading towards the sideline. Mercersburg thinks they have it. And they don't. It's Blair ball. Here's Jenkins, right to left. In transition, Jenkins shoots and scores. What a turn of events over the last 20 seconds as Jenkins scores for the second time tonight. 11-4 is our score. One more look. And watch Jenkins, right side of your screen, and what a rip.
Yeah, when he gets within 10 to 15 yards, more than that, 20, 25 yards, he's in range to put it on cage. And
it's a man-up goal for Blair. They're on a 2-0 run, by the way. Maybe Jenkins is the man to get them back in the game.
Well, I think what we'll start to see from Mercersburg as Blair continues to try to get back in this game, you see Mercersburg take a lot more time on those possessions.
It's back to 6-on-6. Nelson is on the bench, so not sure as to who his sub is. Mercersburg left to right. Here's Archie Levis, number 1, out of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Hendrickson finds Shulkin on the right side. Dumps it off behind the net for Adams. Adams working to his right. Nelson. Hendrickson. Now Doika. Back to Adams on the right side. Adams behind the cage. Trying to figure out which direction he wants to go. And he shoots and scores on a turnaround angled shot.
Yeah, he's showing his versatility, isn't he? That's the first goal he scored that wasn't a point-blank opportunity right in front of the goalkeeper. But showing his stick handling ability here, his one-on-one ability. And behind the net, he makes a beautiful move to get himself in position and a good wraparound goal. And Nick Nelson continues to shine here in Blairstown.
Under 3.5 to play in the third. It's an 8-goal advantage for Mercersburg. Matt Nelson here, Simon Rose there, both on the controls and on color. On a gorgeous Saturday night here in Blairstown, the lights have been on since, I'd say, late in the girls' varsity game. Blair took care of business against Mercersburg, won by 12, and the full moon is still glistening above our heads.
Oh, that moonshot's coming, Matt.
Yeah.
I won't tell you when.
You're going to surprise me, aren't you?
Well, actually, I don't know if these cameras are going to do that well with the moon, but we'll find out.
Yeah, only one way. Park behind the cage for Blair. Park still with it. Now switches around to the left side. Jenkins, shot fake. There it is again with that shot fake that we saw early on.
You know, the shot fake becomes much more effective when the defenders know that you can shoot and score from that distance, and there's a reason why Thomas Jenkins goes to that move quite a lot.
Look out. That shot was by Koliako, was deflected in front, ricocheted out of bounds left side.
How about that great hustle there by Thomas Jenkins? He had a lot of ground to make up, and down by 8 goals. That's what you want to see out of your senior leader, that kind of hustle.
Jenkins dumps it off outside the box, ricocheted off the stick of number 20. Do you have a name for number 20?
For Blair?
For Blair, yeah.
No, there's no number 20 listed on the roster.
All right. None for myself either. Under 2 to play, quarter 3. Thorsheim. Back to Jenkins. But Jenkins misplays the pass. It's loose on the near side and scooped up by number 20. He goes behind his back but throws it away. It's Garrett Henney on the interception. Here's Nelson once again. Nelson from the right side. Goes behind. Shot misses wide left. That was Doyak.
Nice work by Nelson in the midfield, though. That was a really tough ball that he had to snatch out of the air, and he turned it into a good opportunity.
Under 90 to go, third quarter. Nelson behind the cage for Shulkin. Shulkin working from the near side. Turnaround angled shot. Stick save Albers. Excellent defense by the keeper out of Middleburg, Virginia. He is replacing Craig Carell. He's on the roster, but has decided to focus more on football and wrestling. Blair, well known for their wrestling program. Here's Shulkin, and he scores. What a strike for Nick Shulkin, heading to Colorado College. Next year, the California native makes a 9-goal game.
And a player on the U19 Israeli team, Nick Shulkin, an international star. And here in Blairstown, he once again fills up the stat sheet. 45 seconds to go here in the third quarter.
2-0 run by Mercersburg. Remember, they had an 8-0 run from the first through the third. Blair went on a 2-0 run, and now it's back to a 2-0 run for the Blue Storm. Looks like there's a new man in the circle for the Blue Storm. That's Garrett Noon, number 31, out of Myerstown, PA. It's Blair with the face-off win. The LSM in Sizzler gets rid of it. Smarth, 30 seconds to go, quarter 3. Park. Still with it. Hito Shapiro. Off the low catch. Works his way to the right side. Smarth. Park. 5 seconds. Park. Needs to get rid of it. Jenkins! Nope. Not sure if they're going to count the save for Dillard as the clock hits 0. And we go to the fourth quarter. Mercersburg looking for their first Maple League win of the season. They lead Blair by a score of 13-4. And we'll have the final 12 minutes for you right after this. This is high school boys lacrosse right here on the Strive Network. Fourth quarter about to get underway from Blairstown, New Jersey, as Mercersburg leads the Buccaneers 13-4. Both teams looking for their first Maple League win of the year. Mercersburg is just 12 minutes away from doing that. We promised a moonshot, but Simon is unable to tilt the cameras.
You really gotta break the bad news like that.
You made a promise, you broke it.
I did. I will admit. Unfortunately, these cameras are not meant to go up. That's as high as we'll go. If I could go up another inch or two, we'd have a glorious moonshot. But you'll just have to imagine it.
Maybe one day, if you get a camera that will tilt up.
You know, Matt, I think I'm going to stick with the cameras that focus on what's going on the field. I think that's the right priority.
Nonetheless, a full moon.
Nonetheless, a moonshot is a nice luxury to have during a broadcast.
Yeah,
and I
absolutely.
apologize I can't bring it to you.
Hey, no worries, my friend. We've got a pretty good offensive performance by Mercersburg as they come away with another face-off win. It's Garrett New with face-off win number 1. We're underway in the fourth quarter. That one thrown away off the stick of Colin Adams. It'll be Blair ball. Left to right, Jenkins. Across the midfield stripe. Jenkins in the box. Takes a low shot and another save made by a new Mercersburg keeper, That's Nico Creditas out of Pensacola, Florida. Not used to cold weather, is he?
No, also a soccer player.
Yeah.
Hey, you mentioned the fact that there's a lot of kids on this team, both teams actually, that play on the soccer teams, both for Mercersburg and Blair respectively. I think you see a lot of crossover. A great way for your primary soccer players to keep their legs fresh in the off season, and the same thing can be said for lacrosse and soccer. Your primary lacrosse players, you see a lot of them playing soccer in the fall to keep their legs fresh. So good team chemistry, certainly, for multiple sports.
Doika shot. No good. And Mercersburg will not keep it. It'll be Blair ball. Kyle Gibson, the senior captain from nearby Far Hills, New Jersey. He's got a career-high 3 ground balls. Oh, I'm sorry. That's my mistake. Disregard.
Matt, you know, you're not supposed to tell the audience when you mess up.
But if you admit the mistake, at least they know, okay, it's his fault. He admits it.
Oh.
On transition, it's Nick Nelson. And he makes it a double-digit lead for the Blue Storm, 14-4.
Yeah, Nelson's had a really nice game since he saw his couple of teammates, Adams and Shulkin, scoring all the goals. He said, I want to get in on the action. What's that, his 3rd or 4th for Nelson, who's really come alive here. And he does it well from the midfield position. He's got good speed, and he can finish at the rack.
2 goals for Nelson tonight, although it feels like he should have more than that. Nonetheless, having a pretty solid effort.
Another one.
Another one. What do you know? Mercersburg pick him up and put him down. It's 15-4. Let's see who scored that.
Yeah, that was really quick off the face-off, and so quick I'm not even sure I panned over in time for us to see what happened.
That may have been Shulkin.
It was Adams. I think it was Adams who was.
Okay.
No, well, no, you're
sure?
right. No, I'm not sure.
All right.
Let's see. Let's see if we can run that back one more time. And we'll slow it down as well. Yeah, see, we don't know if Adams at the far post there got that final touch on there. It may have been Adams. May not.
Off the face-off win for Mercersburg. They go right to left. Errant pass scooped up on the near side by Shulkin. Now another loose ball, and Blair comes away with the ground ball, or do they? Mercersburg gets it back. It's Adams. Delala flips it over to Benji Quintera, a junior out of Kentuckyville, Maryland. Here's Delala. So the bench starting to empty onto the field for the Blue Storm. Here's Delala, far side. He rips one wide. A 4-0 run for Mercersburg as that shot goes wide off the stick of Adams out of Grosse Pointe Farms, Michigan. Off the restart, Mercersburg ball, leading by 11 with 9 minutes to play in quarter 4. It's a drag race. Garrett Noon trying to come up with it for Mercersburg, unable to find his way. As Corey Downey using his speed like a track star left to right. Jenkins loses the handle at midfield. Trying to swing and tap it to his left is Joe Lieber. And it's scooped up by the Blue Storm. It's been a game filled with goals after goals. Shulkin and Adams have done the majority of the scoring for Mercersburg here tonight. Their season high in goals this year, 20 against FCA Falcons. Player down nearly for the Blue Storm. Ball on the far side. Who's got it? It's Garrett Noon. They had 17 against St. John's Catholic Prep last time out in a back-and-forth game, picking up the 1-goal win. Tonight, however, might be one of the largest margins of victory this season. They knocked off University by 9 in the season opener. There's a pass in front and a shot and a goal. It's Nick Shulkin on the doorstep, and it's a 12-goal lead.
Yeah, this time it's Adams doing the assisting. See Shulkin leaking. And once again, a double team that Mercersburg is able to work out of and make the Buccaneers pay.
A 5-0 run for the Blue Storm. Shulkin's first goal since 45 seconds in the third. He has 4. A night where, based on his efforts, you feel like he should have more than that. 16-4 Mercersburg. Approaching the 7-minute mark of the fourth quarter. Matt Nelson, Simon Rose here with you live on the Strive Network.
I gotta say, Matt, you are a tough critic. He's got to have more than 4. I gotta say though, he certainly could have more than 4 goals.
Yeah.
The fact that so many, what do we got? 3 kids on Mercersburg who have scored 4 or 5 goals.
Yeah,
they're all spreading the
like
wealth, and that's the beauty of a good lacrosse team is when you spread those balls out. And it doesn't matter who finishes, just as long as you get the W at the end of the day. That's the ultimate goal, and they're going to feel pretty good on that 3.5-hour long bus ride home.
Adams stumps it off in front for Doika, middle of the field, and flips it near side. That was Hendrickson making the catch on one knee. Now it's Doika in the corner. Hendrickson. Outside the box. Good defense by Dylan Benson, trying to come up with a takeaway, and he's got a ground ball and a cause turnover left to right. Jenkins. Look out. Stick save
And a beauty.
by Creditas. Deep behind the cage is Park. Park coming in for the far side.
Mm.
Did he score? No.
No,
That hit the back of the net.
I was going to say, Cretidas with some good positioning. He really sealed off the near post well. Goaltending in Mercersburg is a point of talk among those who are familiar with the lacrosse program. They're really excited. They got some good young talent coming up. I'm hearing a freshman goaltender is really turning some heads in this Mercersburg program, and they've got a lot of good things to look forward to in the future in Mercersburg lacrosse.
Dalton Fitzsimmons is the player that Simon is referring to, 5'10", 150, on the roster. And who knows, this team might put him in net later on this year.
Well, what I'm hearing is he's got all the physical makeups to be a successful goaltender. Technically, stopping shots, he's as good as anyone at his age. But at that position, there is a leadership intangibility. There's an intangible leadership quality that you need to have, and freshmen you need to be playing with kids at the high school level for a long time before you lead them. And as a goaltender on the lacrosse field, oftentimes they are the leaders.
Under 4.5 to go from Blairstown, New Jersey. As the shot goes in, it's Gabe Hendrickson for the 4th time this year. And it's a 13-goal lead for Mercersburg. We've got our first running clock of the evening. One more look. Watch Hendrickson coming from the right, and he fires it home. So Hendrickson on the scoreboard. First time tonight. Six-0 run for the Blue Storm. Stoika back in the... check that. Yep, that's Stoika in the face-off circle. He's got himself another win. So right now, as it stands, Mercersburg would have their largest margin of victory this year. They knocked off the FCA Falcons by 12 back on March 23rd. Under 3 to go. And number 3's got it in Nick Nelson. Noon gets rid of it and throws it to his own bench. Smarth on the reset as Blair gets the clear. Hito Shapiro. Top of the box. Jenkins in the circle. Trying to spin around the defender. Jenkins. Another shot fake.
Yeah, he's looking to shoot every time he's got the ball from distance.
Yeah, 9 times out of 10. Smarth. Hito Shapiro. Now Jenkins. Jenkins has space.
Ooh.
Another fake. And his shot is blocked in front by Creditas.
Great save. Great move by Jenkins.
Out of bounds, Mercersburg ball. The LSM Daniel Bowes doing the honors. Creditas dumps it out in front for Nick Nelson. Coming up on 90 seconds to play here in Blairstown. Nelson up top for Levis. Stoika. Back to Nelson. Mercersburg has been on top of their game since they arrived to Blairstown, New Jersey. That 3.5 bus ride from Mercersburg, which is just west of Chambersburg. Those of you who might not be familiar with southern Pennsylvania. Stoika to Nelson, back to Stoika. Under a minute to go. So looking ahead for Mercersburg, they're going to head home tonight, and again, probably get back after midnight or so. And then 4 days from tonight, They will head to, well, actually, they're going to stay home and take on the Hill School. Do we have another goal? Nope. Maybe a crease violation on Mercersburg. So another Maple League game coming up for the Blue Storm. 2:45 is the scheduled face-off time between the Blue Storm and the Rams. As for the Blair Buccaneers, it's that Petty squad. The old Blair Petty rivalry renews in 4 days. That'll be Wednesday at 4 p.m. Eastern, right here at Blair Academy. That'll do it. Mercersburg wins their first Maple League game of the season with an 18-4 final. Their largest margin of victory in 2017. They go to 4-2 and 2-2 away from home as Blair drops to 0-4 and 0-2 here in Blairstown.
Fun game, Matt.
Certainly a fun game for Mercersburg. A lot of damage done, courtesy of Nick Shulkin and Colin Adams combining for the majority of the Blue Storm tallies here this evening. Blair, work will have to be done if they want to get their schedule on the right track. Once again, our final score, Mercersburg 18 and Blair 4. For my partner and producer, Simon Rose, this is Matt Nelson saying so long. We'll talk to you next time with some Blair baseball against St. Benedict's. I believe that's a week and a half from now.
The 19th,
okay,
off the top of my head. I believe the 19th of April is that next broadcast.
We'll see you for some baseball then. So long, everyone.